Long ago, in ancient times, there lived a prince named Shahveer in a faraway kingdom. After the death of the king, he made his kingdom a paradise. Everywhere there was the light of happiness. That is why people called it the kingdom of Noor. When travelers came from other kingdoms, they would say, "This place does not seem to be part of this world. It feels like a land of fairies." Everywhere there was beauty. Villages were pure and clean. People lived very happy lives. No one lacked anything. Prince Shahveer loved to read magical and historical stories. From those books, he learned how the previous kings had taken steps for the well-being of their people. He followed their example and worked for his people too. But slowly, trouble began to spread in the kingdom. Crops started to grow less. Rivers and streams began to dry up. Poverty spread among the people. Seeing all this, Prince Shahveer became very worried. He began to help the people with the royal treasure and stored grain. But slowly, that too started to run out. One night, when the prince was sitting on his bed reading a historical book, he found a magical map. On that map, there was a beautiful land drawn. In the middle of it stood a grand tree of golden apples. As he read more about this land and the tree, he was surprised. It said that in this land lived a fairy who guarded the golden apple tree. Whoever gained this tree's fruit would change his life forever. Prince Shahveer thought, "If I can find this tree, then the troubles of my people will end. They will again live the life they once had." But the map also said, "This tree is not easy to find. The fairy who guards it has great power, and taking its fruit is not easy at all." The prince said to himself, "For my people, I am ready to face any danger." That very night, he prepared for the journey. At Sunrise, he mounted his beloved horse and set out, following the path shown on the map. After traveling a little distance, he entered a beautiful land. There were trees, flowing rivers, endless flowers, and enchanting fragrances. It felt as if he had entered paradise. For 2 days and 2 nights, he rode his horse through this land. It was so vast that it seemed it would never end. Yet its beauty never faded. At last, he reached the golden apple tree. For a few moments, the prince was lost in its beauty. Beside the tree flowed a shining river, sparkling like diamonds in the morning light. There were flowers of every kind. Butterflies danced in the air, and every apple on the tree shone like the sun. The tree was heavy with golden apples. As the prince stepped closer to pluck a fruit, suddenly a golden light spread around the tree. Out appeared a beautiful fairy. She wore golden clothes. Her hair was golden too, and her beauty was such that it was hard to look away. Her voice was sweet and enchanting. She said, "O son of Adam, how dare you enter this land? Do you not know that the fruit of this tree is not for the greedy? For stepping here and touching its fruit, you will have to pay a price." Prince Shahveer replied, "O beautiful fairy, first listen to me. If you find no truth in my words, you may punish me as you wish. I am not greedy." Then the prince told her about his people, his kingdom, and their suffering. When the fairy heard his words, she plucked a golden apple from the tree and gave it to him. She said, "If you are truthful, and you do not use this apple for yourself but for your people, then a tree like this will grow in your kingdom by itself. Its fruit will never end. If you eat it, it will become food. If you sell it, it will turn into pure gold. But if you use it for your greed, it will turn into coal. This is only for those who are in need. The prince asked, "And if I use it only for the good of my people, what reward will I receive?" The fairy replied, "Whatever you ask for. For good men, my service is always ready." The prince smiled and said, "Then my reward is you. I wish to marry you." The fairy said, "I will be ready. When you prove yourself, I will come to you." Saying this, she vanished. The prince returned to his palace with the golden apple. He placed it in the middle of the royal garden. Then he announced, "Whoever needs food or money, come to the garden and take this apple." Soon, a poor man entered the garden. He was hungry. Without greed, he picked up the golden apple and took a bite. Suddenly, in the garden, a great golden apple tree grew. From that day, people who truly needed it came, and each plucked a fruit to fulfill their needs. But one day, a rich man disguised himself as poor. He came to the prince and said, "I have nothing to eat, nothing to wear. Please give me a golden apple." The prince said, "Go into the garden and take as many fruits as you need." The greedy man was overjoyed. In his heart, he thought, "I will take many apples and become richer than ever before." He filled a large basket with golden apples. But when he lifted it, they all turned into coal. The prince had been watching. He ordered his guards to bring the man before him. When questioned, the man confessed, "Prince Shahveer, forgive me. I lied. I am not poor. I had everything. But my greed blinded me." For his lies, the prince sentenced him to 1 year in prison. The fairy was watching everything in her magical globe. Seeing the prince's truthfulness, justice, and kindness, she fell in love with him. One day, as the prince was walking in the garden near the golden tree, a golden light spread around it again. The prince smiled. He knew the fairy was near. He said, "Fairy, you can come before me. I know you are around me." The fairy appeared and said, "Prince, after seeing your kindness and justice, I have fallen in love with you. That day you asked me to marry you. Today, I ask you, will you marry me?" Prince Shahveer smiled and said, "Not once, but 100 times, yes. I will marry you." The two embraced each other. The golden tree shone brighter than ever before, as if blessing their love. And so, the prince and the fairy lived happily, and the kingdom of Noor once again became a paradise. If you enjoyed this magical story that takes you into another world, then please like this video and subscribe to my channel.